Hello there. This is Dustin Hausner. I'm the Jewish Outreach and Program Director at the Wayne YMCA. All our Jewish programs is funded through the Jewish Federation of Northern New Jersey. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this special Memorial Day edition of our interview series. So this particular video is going to be a little different from a lot of the previous ones we've done. So a lot of our interviews usually is me and the guest pop up on this feed. We have the interview, and we talk about whatever the issue is that we want to discuss. So because of the coronavirus, we were not able to do this interview through live Zoom like we've done previously. Today I'm interviewing Alan Moskin, who is a World War II veteran and liberator. So what we did was we did a phone recording of the interview, and what's going to happen in a few seconds is I'm going to switch the screen. It's going to go black with maybe a white avatar for a minute. Then what's going to pop up is a image of me and Alan Moskin from a couple months ago. We were at a Holocaust Museum event, and I'll play the recording while you see the image of both of us. That way you kind of have the image of us while we're talking. Alan Moskin talks about his thoughts on Memorial Day, his experiences, his time as a veteran, what he does now, which prior to the coronavirus, he actually is part of a speakers bureau at a local Holocaust museum in Rockland County, New York, where he spoke to students against hatred, accepting people for who they are. It's really wonderful work, and he actually blends both those things, Memorial Day and his current work, in a way that I think is very important and is good to listen, especially in these challenging times. I also think because of the coronavirus, we don't have the same parades and things that we usually have. So to have an opportunity to, watch and listen to this video where you have a World War II veteran and liberator speaking about their thoughts on Memorial Day, I think is an incredibly important thing. It's my great honor to be able to interview such a person. So I hope you'll sit back and enjoy it. There will be one snippet of the interview that you may see me just quickly go over in the background. There was a small sound issue during one part of it. It's not going to take away from any of the substance of the interview, but you may notice a small transition in our conversation, and that's just because of a recording issue. So I want to thank you for going to watch this video shortly. As soon as the interview ends, I'm going to shut this off. I'm not going to do my usual ending to every interview. So ahead of time, I want to wish you to stay safe, to stay healthy. I hope that however you choose to recognize Memorial Day, it will be something that is very meaningful, that's very mindful, that's very powerful to you. Memorial Day is a very important time in our country, and it's something that, really is something that we need to take more time acknowledging. Alan Moskin is going to talk more about it, but many people take Memorial Day for granted as a time to take off and a barbecue and things like that. Many amazing people lost their lives and gave up so much for this great country to exist and for us to enjoy the freedoms we have today. So doing something for Memorial Day, even if it's just reading about Memorial Day, talking to a veteran, watching a video like this, whatever it is, do something, because this is a holiday that really does have a rich and powerful meaning for many Americans. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please stay with me for the next few seconds as I transition to the picture and play the recording. Thank you so much for watching this today. Thank you to Alan Moskin for doing this interview. And thank you to all our veterans and all those families who have given up something or who have done something to help make this country as amazing as it is, especially those who are, EMS, or those who are, New York State Troopers, or all, essential workers, all people who are doing something to continue to make this country as great as it is. So I'm now going to actually transition to the video. So thank you very much for your patience in the introduction, and I hope you enjoy. Oh, sorry, folks. Give me 1 second. Hello, this is Dustin Hausner. I'm the Jewish Outreach and Program Director at the Wayne YMCA. Our Jewish programs is funded through Jewish Federation of Northern New Jersey. We have a very special guest today for our Memorial Day interview and conversation. We have a good friend of mine who is a veteran and actually served in the military during World War II. He right now goes to schools and talks about his experience in the military and being a liberator, but I'll give him an opportunity to speak a little bit about that. But I'd like to introduce a good friend of mine, Alan Moskin. Alan, it's wonderful to have you here with us today.
It's good to be here, Dustin, and I think you want me to say a little bit about Memorial Day, which is coming up. Um, Briefly, my background was I was drafted at the age of 18 many years ago in 1944, and then I went through basic training in the South, infantry basic training, shipped overseas, became a member of George S. Patton's Third Army, a combat soldier, and fought in combat in the Rhineland campaign and the Central European campaign in France, Germany, and Austria. And at the end of the war, on May 4th, 1945, I participated in the liberation of a concentration camp, the Gunskirchen concentration camp, suburb of Mauthausen in Austria. As you said, I speak quite a bit now to many middle school, high schools, colleges all over the country, and also in Europe. I was in Stockholm, and it's like a calling with me now that I want to let the young people know what I saw as a young 18-year-old, combat soldier and liberator. But today, I think you wanted me to talk a little bit about Memorial Day, and I wrote something a number of years ago, and I think it's very apropos today. Pushing 94, but I think this is still very apropos, and I'd like to maybe 4 or 5 minutes. I'll go through it, and then if you have any comments or want me to ask me anything else, I'll be glad to answer it. By the way, when we're finished, there is a poem that I want to read, also a 2-minute poem, but that'll be at the end when we're finished with this.
Absolutely, please.
Okay, so let me say that I think it's clear that Memorial Day has always been a truly meaningful and sacred day to all our veterans, particularly old combat veterans like yours truly. We unfortunately lost so many close buddies in World War II, so we know what Memorial Day really means. It hits home. So none of us really have to be reminded of the meaning of Memorial Day, is what I'm saying, and why it should be commemorated. But what about most members of the general public? Do they really recognize and understand the importance of a day that we honor all our fellow Americans, all those who made the ultimate sacrifice? I asked that question years ago, and I ask it again today. To be honest, very honest, judging what Memorial Day has seemed to become at the present time, just a day off or a weekend off from work or from school, department store sales, motor vehicle sales, a day to go shopping at the mall, have parties, barbecues, Jersey Shore weekends, etc., etc. I believe that the answer, unfortunately, is no. Most Americans really don't get what the purpose of Memorial Day really is. And that's a shame to me, and I think to most veterans. So I think a reminder is definitely past due, and that every one of us, all veterans in particular, have a solemn and necessary duty to relay that reminder. Now, it's often been said that sacrifice is really meaningless without remembrance. I feel that the consciousness of our country demands that all our citizens recall and remember the deaths of their fellow countrymen during wartime. Much, much too often, many in our nation take for granted the freedoms that we all enjoy in this great country. These freedoms were mostly paid for with the lives of individuals that very, very few of us may have actually known on a personal level. That is why they are all collectively remembered on one very, very special day, which is called Memorial Day. You know, I personally feel that the spirit of remembrance should be regarded, excuse me, as a civic obligation for each and every one of us, a national debt that can only be repaid by every individual American. I feel we must all clearly understand that by honoring our nation's war dead, we preserve their memory and their service and their sacrifice in the minds and memories of our future generations. It's very clear that those who perished came from all walks of life and from all regions of our beloved country. But they all had one thing in common, the love and loyalty to the United States of America. The ways and means that we pay tribute to those who have fallen tends to vary. Attending ceremonies probably is the most common, placing flags on graves, dedicating memorials, and marching in parades are some of the other examples. But whether done individually or collectively, it is really the thought of remembrance that counts. And I believe that public displays of our patriotism are absolutely essential if the nation of remembering our war dead is to be instilled in the minds of our future generations. So to close, let me say that as a member of our older generation and our older war veterans continue, sadly to disappear from the landscapes. I mean, I'm obviously I'm an example, I was 18, pushing 94, so most of us are either unfortunately have passed or getting there. There are fewer and fewer standard bearers that remain to carry the torch of remembrance. And I feel it is absolutely imperative that we older veterans and also elder citizens do all we can to make sure that members of our younger generation, our youth, continue to carry the torch and continue to honor all those who made the ultimate sacrifice to ensure that every American will continue to enjoy the freedom and the liberty that we have in this great republic of the United States of America. And I'm sure I said this many years ago, and I think it's very apropos today, if not more so.
Well, personally, I just want to say thank you for reading that. It was absolutely beautiful, and I think only through a lens of someone who is a veteran or someone who has been through experiences could you say it quite that way. So I really do thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
I do have just a few small questions I'd like to ask since I am fortunate enough to have you on the phone, and since our topic is Memorial Day. I'm curious if you feel that because of the way warfare is done now and because of how military service is done now versus, let's say, World War II, Vietnam, and other times when there was much more, I think, of a national feeling that we were in war, if that makes sense. Do you think that's played a role in the sense of maybe there's a bit of apathy because we don't feel it as directly as we may have once did in our history?
Yeah, I think you raise a good point. You know, it's unfortunate that it takes some catastrophes to bring out the patriotism and love of country, etc. Of course, my own experience in World War II when guys were drafted and or volunteered to fight. Like when I tell this to a lot of the younger kids, Dustin, when I speak, they said, "You mean guys really volunteered to fight, Mr. Moskin?" I mean, I try to explain to them that patriotism was so high after the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor that guys were running to the draft board to fight for the country, the love of country. And I wish I could bring that feeling of love of country and patriotism back. And I'll be honest with you, that, the other time that I got that feeling of love of country and everything else was 9/11, when many of these people weren't even born then. And that reminded me a little bit about what happened back in World War II when no one had to, everybody got drafted or volunteered to fight, wanted to fight for the love of the country, how strong the patriotism was. And unfortunately, to be honest, I don't feel it today as I did then. I don't know whether times have changed. It's just that I don't feel the same love of country that every city. I was born in Englewood, New Jersey, and every town in those days had a parade on Memorial Day, and every town had a parade on Veterans Day, and people turned out thousands on the streets, clapping and salute, except for the Pearl River Parade. We don't seem to have that like we did years ago. And I might add that, by the way, as a side, that this catastrophe, this coronavirus, has also brought out what I call the goodness of so many people. I mean, I can't tell you how many calls that I have received. I guess people know of me. I don't know who these people are. They call me on the phone, Mr. Moskin. Can I get you something? I'm going shopping. Do you need anything? Can I do anything for you? I said, oh, I know you. I know you're a veteran. So, and I get at least 6 or 7 calls, Dustin, on every day. And it just reminds me that there's a lot of wonderful people out there. It's a shame that it takes a virus like this coronavirus to bring it out all the time. But I always remark how wonderful many people are when these viruses hit or calamity hits. But other than that, I just don't feel it. The patriotism is as strong as it was when I was a kid in World War II, and I think it was also that way in World War I. My father told me. So I don't want to have a war to have to bring out patriotism, but
Sure.
I just will tell you that that's my own personal experience. That every holiday, Veterans Day, Memorial Day, there was a parade in every town, and people really got out and cheered, and it was love of country was so strong that I wish I could bring some of that back all the time here in this country.
Well, let me ask you, because you brought up the coronavirus, of course, and to say the very least, it has changed life as we know it right now to a great extent. So a lot of different services, a lot of different parades and activities have, of course, been canceled. I know you, obviously, besides being a veteran, I know you've been very involved with the Jewish war veterans, particularly, and of course, the Holocaust Museum. So I'm curious, has there been discussion, or has there been a thought of how to maybe celebrate or how to recognize Memorial Day this year, or what would be an appropriate way to do it? Because, I can sympathize with the idea of us coming together, regardless of any sort of affiliation, to just be great, to show gratitude for those who've lost their lives in service. But, since we are confined, I was wondering if there's anything you either have heard or something that you would recommend as a way to show tribute and
No,
respect.
I haven't heard. Of course, now that this virus is around, everything is being put on hold, and I'm sure there's not going to be any. Memorial Day is only about a month away, and based on what I hear, I don't think there's going to be any parades. I'm all for it. Love of country and parade and remembrance is very important to me. I was commander of the Jewish War Veterans. I participated in the Pearl River Parade several times. One of the largest aside from New York City. But again, I'm going to be honest with you. Aside from that Pearl River Parade, which gets a big turnout. Some of the other parades in New City and other places, I didn't see the crowds that we had during World War II. The streets were lined with people, three and four deep. And I don't want to pick on the younger generation, but I'll be honest with you. When we've had these ceremonies at the cemeteries and other places in New City, the turnout of the millennials, is that what you call it, the younger generation, that they don't show up. I see mostly the seniors, and then I see sometimes, some parents with their kids. But the younger generation, they don't seem to show up. They always seem to, including my daughters in their group. I say, well, they want to go shopping and they want to do other things, and that's the spirit that annoys me quite a bit. I don't get the millennials or the younger generation. That whatever the reason is, I don't know, but most veterans will tell you the same thing when we go to these ceremonies. We don't see too many that the younger generation show up. It's mostly the seniors, veterans, and once in a while some parents will bring or grandparents will bring their grandchildren. But that disappoints me no end, and that's why I want to try to bring back the patriotism as much as I can. And I think most veterans feel the same way. And I might add that, as an aside, that most veteran organizations are having difficulty getting younger veterans now to join, which concerns me in the future. A lot of these guys, I will say it's a little different. Some of them, when my generation was mostly 18 and 19-year-olds who were drafted, and they were mostly in college or in school, but now they're older and have children and come back, and I guess they want to get back to their family and work. So I try to understand, it's a little bit different, but I want to get that spirit back to the younger generation about how fortunate they are to live in this country, rather than other places in the world where, the educational system and things are not the same as here, and the living quarters and everything else. And I think sometimes they take it for granted. They think they have great homes and go to college and this and that. And a lot of places that's unheard of in other places in the world. I try to tell these young kids how lucky they are to thank their parents every day when that they have a nice home to live in, and in most cases be able to go to college and afford automobiles when they turn 17 or 18. That doesn't happen all over the world. And sometimes I think these kids in the United States really take things for granted. I go to Westchester and speak, and some of these kids, live in homes in places like Armonk and Bedford, and these homes are like mansions, and they live a good life. And I think they may think that everybody has that sort of life, and it's not true. They're very fortunate, and I tell them to thank their parents every day for what they have, and not to forget that not everybody lives the life that they do.
So let me ask you then, because obviously this is a very important opportunity to listen to you, and you have had experience, as you mentioned, speaking to schools and speaking with younger people. And as we both know, a lot of times, kids grow up and do things if their parents are involved with things or they're active in certain things. So I'm curious, what would be your advice for not just young people to not just celebrate Memorial Day, but to be involved in things like Veterans Affairs and things like that, but also for people who are maybe older, but might take it for granted? What would be your advice of how to better understand Memorial Day and to be more involved in things like, when there's a ceremony at a cemetery or, something like that, where it's a beautiful dedication to individuals who have given their service and their lives to this country?
Well, I have a very simple thing, like most veterans do, and I tell the kids, when you see somebody at veteran at these places and with poppies or ceremonies or whatever, just come up and say, thank you for your service, sir or ma'am or whatever. And you'll always get a smile back and a handshake back. That is a simple thing, but it shows appreciation and understanding. And a lot of the kids, after I do that, will come up to me when I speak. Thank you for your service, Mr. Moskin. Thank you. But they do it in a way that, I know that and they're emotional about it a little bit, because I can tell when I'm a hugger, and when I speak, I'm known as the liberator who said hug, don't hate, so the word is out, and you can't hug now, obviously, with the corona thing, but everybody comes up to get a kick out of it, to see all these kids, as an aside, Dustin, a number of years ago, I got emotional when I was speaking in Westchester. I don't remember whether it was Mount Vernon or New Rochelle, but it was mostly a very diverse group. I speak to diversity. I was brought up in a very diverse area in England, blacks and Jews and Protestants and Catholics, and a Mexican, a Hispanic, and an Indian. I always said I never saw an area so diverse as the area that I was brought up in. And it made me realize that I always quote Maya Angelou, who is passed away a few years ago, was a great poet and author, and she said something to the effect that people are more alike than unlike. And I always like to say people are more alike than different. And it doesn't matter whether your skin is black or white, or you're Catholic, Jewish, Muslim, Protestant. You cut, you bleed. I tell the kid, what color is the blood? And I look at him and I show it's red. I said, anybody that bleeds it, we're more alike than different, I tell them. We all feel pain. We all feel joy. I try to get that across to these kids. Because, you're not brought up to hate or discriminate. You play on the street. I played with all kinds of kids. I never thought of the color of the skin or the religion. It never came up. And I realized I got older, particularly in basic training when I went through, be calling names.
All intertwined. I think you're speaking to very important points. So I think you're doing wonderfully. So I'm really glad that you're able to make the time to.
As I told you, I want to read this 2-minute poem that I find is always over holidays and
Sure, if you want to.
Memorial Day and Veterans Day. And by the way, I want to make sure also that it's known why it's so difficult for so many people, and politicians in particular, this distinction between Veterans Day and Memorial Day.
I would love if you could talk about that, and then if you want to do your poem, because I know you said you wanted to do the poem as the wrap up. So please.
When they start talking on Veterans Day about those who now listen, no one's ever going to say, hey, just talk about those who died at any time. We all feel strongly about that, pay our feelings and emotions about the dead. But Veterans Day is really not for those who passed away. Veterans Day is to honor all veterans. Yep. The word itself. Memorial Day is when we honor those who made the ultimate sacrifice fighting for their country. And that distinction should be made. Sometimes the politicians talk about Veterans Day, and we got to remember all those who made the ultimate. I said, you don't want to say, hey, you're not supposed to talk like, but that Veterans Day is not for those who made the ultimate sacrifice. It's for those living veterans. I want to make that clear. But let me read this poem. I love it. I saw it years ago, and I get really, I guess you call me very patriotic. I love this country. I love the flag. I have a little flag always outside of, in my front. And I don't think most people understand how fortunate they are to live in this free country. And once you're a soldier, and what I saw in World War II, Dustin, curdle, as I said, curdle your stomach, the hate and the persecution of innocent human beings, millions, Jews, and of course millions of mostly Jews, but millions of non-Jews also, Catholics and Catholic priests, and gays and Jehovah Witnesses and gypsies, and those who try to help their Jewish friends and neighbors, the righteous Gentiles, many of whom their grandchildren, great-grandchildren speak with me on the circuit. I always say I don't think they get enough credit. And, the word chutzpah in our religion, that took a lot of chutzpah and guts to stick their neck out to help their Jewish friends and neighbors, knowing if they got caught, their whole family was sent into a concentration camp.
Yeah.
So I try to touch on all these things, and particularly how lucky these kids are to live in this country. I tell them when they go home and give their mom and dad a hug, tell them how much they love them, and that's not done enough. Don't take things for granted. But let me read this. It's called "Freedom Isn't Free." I watched the flag pass by one day. It fluttered in the breeze. A young soldier saluted it, and then he stood at ease. I looked at him in uniform, so young, so tall, so proud, with hair cut square and eyes alert. He'd stand out in any crowd. I thought how many men like him had fallen through the years, how many died on foreign soil, how many mothers' tears, how many pilots' planes shot down, how many died at sea. No, my friends, freedom isn't free. I heard the sound of taps one night when everything was still. I listened to the bugle play, and I felt a sudden chill. I wondered how many times that taps had met amen when a flag had draped the coffin of a brother or a friend. I thought of all the unmarked graves at Arlington. I thought of all the children, of all the mothers and the wives, of all the fathers, sons and husbands with interrupted lives. And I thought about all of the graveyards and all those lying at the bottom of the sea. No, my friends, no, my friends, freedom isn't free. And I think that's very apropos to Memorial Day, and always gives me a little tinge in the heart, because I'm an emotional guy, and I think this is the kind of a thing should be emphasized on. And when we have Memorial Day, and hopefully if this thing is over, that we could have a parade in honor of all those who died. On a personal level, I lost a lot of close buddies, Dustin. I'm not going to name them now, but I recite their names on Memorial Day. And as I said many times, I'm just one of the lucky ones, because if I was 100 meters to the right or 100 meters to the left, and the Rhine man came with a campaign of the Central European campaign and fighting the Nazis, I wouldn't be here. And I don't know whether, one rabbi once told me, I said, I don't know whether there's a higher power or not, but I was wondering why, if I was in one spot, if I was 100 meters in, did somebody control that? And I remember this rabbi, and I think it was in Yorktown Heights, and he was sitting on the bimmer behind me, and he tapped me on the shoulder and he said, Alan, I think there is a higher power. And he knew what a great speaker you were going to be with the young children, and that's why he saved you. And, I like to think maybe there's some truth. I'm not that religious in the going to Shabbos and Fridays, that my religion is in my heart. I mean, I'm very strong as a Jew. Anybody says anything, if there's going to be a fight, I'm not going to go with violence. But that's how I am. I've been in a few of those. But maybe there's some truth to that. There is a higher power who maybe wanted me to survive so I could speak like I do at the schools. It sounds a little far-fetched, but I like to hold on to that. I get a little spiritual once in a while. United, that's what happens. But maybe there is some truth to that, because I get so many letters and so many thank yous from the kids. And they're gonna, one place that was orange they're going to form a don't hate club in my honor and stuff like that. And it makes me feel that what I'm doing is worthwhile. And that I've, like my youngest daughter always says, Dad, you know, once in a while, if you saw me speak, I said, once in a while a kid will slop right in the front row when I'm talking about this heavy subject of liberation and that. And I see a kid closing, you fall asleep. I get so mad. I want to do it. I want to whack him. Obviously, you can't do that.
No.
My youngest daughter always said, Dad, if you reach one kid every time you speak, you're ahead of the game.
Yeah.
I hope I do better than that. You know, I want these young people to know what happened back in World War II and how many millions of innocent people were slaughtered, and to make sure that that never happens again. That's the main reason why I speak, to get rid of the hate that I saw in the Nazis and the Hitler Youth in Germany, and never got a handle on it. I don't want to. And I tell these young kids, you know, to love the country and appreciate and give their mom and dad a hug, which a lot of them don't do. And I think when they look at me, they say, I'm going to go home and do what you told me, Mr. Moskin. Some of the kids actually cry when I speak, and I think that it's important to show emotion. There's nothing embarrassing about that. It's a heavy subject, but I'm deviating a little bit.
No, I think that's a perfect way to close it up. I really do. Because I think you spoke a lot on this about a mixture of obviously the importance of Memorial Day, but also I think the message of not to hate and love. I think in many ways those two go hand in hand in a way, because we hope constantly for a better tomorrow. So I think they actually fit very well together. So I think it's very good.
And I want to compliment you, Dustin. I know what you do, and you're always out there and expressing your feelings and thoughts on Facebook and elsewhere, and well known in the community. And I think in many ways we have a lot in common in a sense of trying to do the right thing and get other people to try to do the right thing also. And if that's our mantra, Dustin, there's a lot worse things than that. So I appreciate you asking me to talk about Memorial Day. I know I deviated a little bit, but I think I covered the main idea of what Memorial Day is all about. And hopefully, as the years go by, that the younger generation will realize how many guys fought for the country and lost their lives so that they can have the freedom and the individual love of country that they have here in the United States of America.
So what we're going to do is I'm going to actually shut off the recording shortly. So I'm going to just sign us off. But I want to make clear, Alan, just beyond thank you for not only your service, but to in your own way serve, since your service has been truly a great gift to anyone who's had the opportunity to listen to you, whether it's been kids in a classroom or whether it's listening to you right now. I think there's so much you give when you speak, and it's a truly remarkable and powerful skill. And I hope everyone who's listening has a wonderful Memorial Day. I hope you find a way to recognize Memorial Day and be able to participate and encourage young people to participate as well. In these challenging times, I hope you stay safe, hope you stay healthy, and hopefully we'll have you listening soon. So for all those who are listening, have a wonderful rest of the day. Thank you so much.
Thank you.